Welcome back once again, all of my low carb friends, and for those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. Today I have another very easy keto dessert recipe for you. Today I am going to show you how to make plain and simple keto chocolate cake with a 2-minute peanut butter glaze. Now, of course, once you learn how to make this cake, you can put any frosting or glaze or topping you want on it. And those of you who have nut allergies, don't worry, I have a nut-free option for the glaze. So if you want printable versions of these recipes, you can check out my website at janetsdeliciouslowcarbkitchen.com. You can find a printable version of these recipes and other goodies there for you. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see lots of easy, delicious, low-carb keto recipes, make sure you click that subscribe button and click the notification bell that's right next to the subscribe button. That way you can be notified every time I put out videos, at least every Wednesday and Saturday. And if you'd like to help support the channel, make sure you scroll down in the description of the video. You'll see some affiliate links. Anytime you purchase anything using those affiliate links, a small portion of your purchase will go to me and help support the channel. So while you do all that, let's get cooking. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Line a 9x5 loaf pan with parchment paper and allow the paper to hang over the sides just a little bit so that you can easily remove the cake once it's done baking. Then set the pan aside for just a minute. In a large mixing bowl, combine 84 grams or around 3/4 cup of coconut flour, 20 grams or around 1/4 cup of cocoa powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 10 grams or around 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 100 grams or around a 1/2 cup of the granulated sweetener of your choice. I'm using granulated monk fruit sweetener. You can use whatever granulated sweetener you want. You can also adjust this more or less depending on how sweet you want your cake. And 1 teaspoon of very fine coffee granules or instant coffee powder. Now, this is not going to make your cake taste like coffee. The purpose of adding this is to intensify the chocolate flavor, and that will help tone down some of the coconut flour taste. But if you don't have coffee granules or instant coffee powder, you can leave this out and your recipe will still taste good. Also, if you are using coffee granules instead of the coffee powder, make sure your coffee granules are ground very fine. I grind up my coffee beans for a little bit longer time than what I would if I was just brewing regular coffee, because you want to make sure that they are going to blend in with the rest of your ingredients. So make sure they are very fine. If you want to, you can add some extra dry spices to give your cake a little bit more of a different flavor, and it'll also help tone down any coconut flour taste if you're extra sensitive to coconut flour. Sift everything all together until everything is fully combined and there are no lumps in the dry ingredients. Add 4 large room temperature eggs. Make sure they are room temperature so they stir in more smooth. Stir the eggs into the dry ingredients until everything is fully combined and all the dry ingredients are moist. Add a 1/2 cup of butter that's been melted and cooled. Make sure it is cooled. You do not want to add hot butter. Stir the butter in until everything is fully combined. Add 60 grams or around 1/4 cup of room temperature plain yogurt or sour cream. Again, make sure this is room temperature so it stirs in more smooth. And 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract or the extract of your choice. You can use any flavor of extract. It just depends on what type of hint of flavor you want in your chocolate cake. You can also adjust the amount of extract more or less depending on how much of a hint of flavor you want in your cake. Stir everything all together until everything is fully combined and a smooth dough has formed. Scrape down the sides of the bowl and push the dough to the center of the bowl. And yes, for those of you who are unfamiliar with baking with coconut flour, this is more of a dough than a batter. Traditional cake is made with a thin batter. Coconut flour cake is made with more of a dough than a batter. So don't think you're doing anything wrong if it's thick like dough. Form the dough into a smooth ball. Then massage the dough in your hands just for 20 to 30 seconds. You just want to make sure you've got the right texture. Your dough should be slightly moist, should be soft and smooth, and should be holding its shape well. If it seems like it's dry and crumbly and not holding its shape well, then just add small amounts of room temperature milk or water until the dough is moist and holding its shape. Once you have the right texture, place the dough into your prepared loaf pan. Then press the dough evenly throughout the pan. Make sure you get it as smooth and even as you possibly can. Place the pan in your preheated oven and bake at 350 degrees for 25 to 30 minutes or until a tester comes out clean. Once the cake is done baking, remove it from the oven, then allow it to cool in the pan for at least 1 hour to firm up completely. Gluten-free baked goods are always soft when they are warm, so you definitely want to make sure that you let it sit in the pan for a while so that all the ingredients can settle together and it can dry just a tiny bit and firm up. After at least an hour and your cake has firmed up, grasp the overhanging parchment paper and transfer the cake to a wire rack, then allow it to cool completely before frosting it or putting any topping of your choice on it. Once the cake is cooled completely, you can eat it just as it is. You don't have to frost it or put any topping on it. It tastes great just the way it is if you don't want to frost or glaze it. But of course, we are going to make a peanut butter glaze. And again, like I said in the beginning, you can put any glaze or any frosting or any topping of choice on this. But for the peanut butter glaze, in a medium mixing bowl, place 128 grams or around a half cup of creamy peanut butter or peanut butter substitute of your choice. If you're allergic to nuts, you can use sunflower seed butter or pumpkin seed butter, or you can use my cookie butter recipe or any other type of peanut butter substitute of your choice. Add 79 milliliters or around 1/3 cup of room temperature milk of your choice. Make sure it is room temperature. Room temperature ingredients always blend much better together. My keto milk of choice is always coconut milk, but as I said, you can use any milk of your choice. Just make sure it's room temperature. Beat the peanut butter and the milk of your choice together on low for about 30 seconds or until completely smooth. Once the peanut butter and milk are smooth, scrape down the sides of the bowl and push the ingredients to the center of the bowl. Then again, turn your mixer onto low and gradually add in 125 grams or around 1 cup of the powdered sweetener of your choice. I'm using powdered monk fruit allulose blend. You can use whatever powdered sweetener you want. Make sure when you are adding this, you are just adding this in small amounts at a time. You do not want to add it all at once because it will clump up on you. So add it in small amounts, then allow it to mix in after each small addition. And if you need to, from time to time, you can stop the mixer and scrape down the sides of the bowl if you want to. You want to make sure that all the ingredients gets fully combined. Once all the powdered sweetener is fully combined, the glaze is going to be thick, but you should be able to scoop it up with the spoon, and when you turn the spoon upside down, it should still drip off easily. And you can always adjust the texture according to your personal taste. If you want it thicker, you can add a little bit more powdered sweetener. If you want it thinner, you can add a little bit more milk. That's up to you. So once it's fully combined, scrape down the sides of the bowl once again and push the frosting to the center of the bowl. Gradually increase the speed on your mixer to medium, then beat on medium for about 1 to 2 minutes or until the mixture is creamy and completely smooth. Once the glaze is nice and smooth, then set it aside for just 1 second. Place a piece of parchment paper under your cooling rack that has your cake on it. You definitely want to make sure that you do this because when you spread the glaze on your cake, it's going to drip down the sides, and if you don't have a piece of parchment paper underneath your rack, you're going to have a mess on your countertop. Use a spoon and spread the desired amount of glaze evenly over your cake and let the glaze drip down the sides of the cake to fully cover the top and all the sides of the cake. Now you can put however much glaze you want on the cake. If you don't want to use all the glaze, you don't have to. You can always put it in an airtight container in your refrigerator for a couple days and use it later. Once the glaze is spread evenly over your cake, then allow it to sit for about 20 to 30 minutes so that the glaze can set in well. Once the glaze has set, slice your desired size pieces and place them on serving plates of your choice. You can eat this immediately. If you do have any leftovers, store them in an airtight container at room temperature for up to 3 days or in an airtight container in your refrigerator for up to 1 week. Eat and enjoy. And those are our recipes of the day. I hope you enjoyed them both. If you did and you want to see more videos like this, make sure you click that thumbs up like button, click that subscribe button, leave me a comment if you want to. Let me know if there's any recipes that you'd like to learn how to make, and I'll do what I can to get those out there for you. And as always, keep cooking.